Ready for this? Huh? You're not going to look at the camera, huh? Good evening, Tim. You're first. Where's this? I don't wonder. There we go. Steve Moran's here. Yeah, let's see if I can catch Cagey just a little better here. There we go. Yeah, no Darlin tonight. So I had to bring my assistant in. She's gonna be gone a little over a week. Oh no. Hello, Sam. How you doing? There's Maddie. Oh. Anyway, life's good, I guess. Been raining a lot. It's been raining. I don't know if it's been, well, probably for you too, Maddie. You've been getting a lot of rain down there in Texas. Want to see me? Why would you want to see me? Anyway, I'll get with it here in a second. It's almost time. It's 7 o'clock, so I have to get going here with something. Oh, she loves me too. That's good. My little guitar player, Ovation guitar player. KG had Chicken Express today. He's a happy dog. Two people that have been watching us have put up video or contacted me or put up a video about Chicken Express. Everybody seems to like it, so I guess if everyone seems to like it, I can't be wrong, huh? Chicken Express. It's pretty good today too. Talk about RVs made during the pandemic. I heard that the quality was really bad and people got rigs that weren't even fully finished, like plumbing not even hooked up yet. Yeah, there's pretty much anything like I would say 2008 and later, the quality started going down. I've always recommend actually 2008 is probably the end of the line. Anything below older than that tends to be quite a bit better. But yeah, there's a lot of junk out there, and there's a lot of people complaining. A lot of things are changing in the RV world. I was surprised to see. Of course, I knew Bob Wells had bought an acre of land, but now he bought a 20-acre piece of land, and he's already kind of insinuating he might build a house on this property. So I think that a lot of the old time guys, like myself, have kind of come to the realization that it's becoming more and more difficult to be a full-time RVer, especially if you're going to do something stealthy. Someone was saying today, lots of people bought RVs during the pandemic and now want them and now don't want them. So there are a lot of rigs for sale, but the quality seems scary. Yeah, it's true. So are you guys done with gate guarding? We're not done with anything. I mean, right now, I mean, honestly, where we're at is we're gonna do the fireworks thing here. I'd like to maybe really get going on building this house. At least get the exterior done, get all that done, get the one extra room added on, and get the whole outside done. And then once we get to that point, then we can kind of just start doing what we got to do slowly. But once the outside's put together, it's waterproofed and maybe basically insulated and wired, then we can start working on the inside, doing the flooring and the walls and all that kind of stuff. But we got to get to the point where we have the building somewhat assembled. So it would be nice to do that because I mean, 70's coming up pretty soon for Darla and I, and it's the older we get, the harder it's going to be to get something like that done. My neighbor next door, he's good to go, so we'll see what we can get done. Let's see. I flew to Arizona pickup in 1997. That was a gift to me, and I drove it back to Texas. Got caught in all the crazy weather. A 16-hour trip took me 26 hours, only 2 hours of rest time. Yeah. Well, you made it back. That's awesome. I'm glad you made it. Sometimes those gift vehicles are a gift because of course, it depends on how you get it as a gift. I shouldn't say, but there are some times where people give you stuff that they just want to get rid of it. There's other times when they want to bless you with it. Let's just say it that way. Hi, Mikio. 8 likes now. Well, let's see. We're up to 12 likes. So 12 people are watching. So that's what I would call a nice even number. Thanks for a reminder. I just liked. You're welcome. Okay. Yeah. So there's just a lot of changes going on in the world. Hi, Mikio. Um, and like I say, there's a lot of the nomads are talking about changes in their lives. Astros have been on the road forever and still look nice. I'm always tempted to buy one. You are. You never told me that. Hi, Randy. How you doing? How's Mary? We are. We've been speaking of uh, nomad work type stuff. We're camping. We're down. We've got 3 stores left. Well, 2 stores and a tent. So we did pretty good on occupying all those, and we have people waiting. I got to get with Mike and get some information to. Hi, Mary. Get some information on how people are going to camp and stuff. I know one is kind of weird. It's like you're staying at another store about 10 miles away from the store where you're working, but you stay at their store in your RV and they do too. And then you go to this other store. So it might take someone special to do that. A lot of my friends are getting out of the corporate world, selling everything and buying RVs or campers and going for the simpler life. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. The thing is as when you start aging and you get to a point where you require doctor stuff and everything else, it makes it really hard to be a long ways away from your doctors. So I part of the reason why Darla and I have gotten into the Rife thing and always looking for something that will take us away from having to be under control of a doctor is because of that. Because my doctor was in Vegas, and whenever we were away from Vegas, I mean, if something went wrong, then it was always kind of a hassle. But now our doctors are here where our property is near Arkansas, where we're at, and we can always go to Texarkana. And there's a new hospital between here and DeQueen, and so things have kind of improved. This used to be like a really bad place if you got sick. Was a doctor that was over here in Mena that darn near killed me. So you just got to be careful who you would trust your life to. I mean, that's why they call it a practice, because you're the practice. They practice on you. So, and nobody, here's our trait. Nobody knows, nobody knows what you feel exactly. And sometimes it's really hard to explain to people what might be wrong. And then, you know, the hard part about it is that things start spinning in their head, and a lot of doctors just say, well, if we get a lot of testing done, I can make a lot of money. And it's just, some guy there's guys when you walk in their businesses, they're looking to make as much money on you as they can, and then there's other people you walk in their business and they feel like, wow, I want to help this guy, I want to get him what he wants, like fireworks. You're not just trying to rob them or anything. You want to make it where they have a good celebration. They have nice fireworks and different things like that. So it just depends on how the people are that you're dealing with, and there's good and bad people in everything. Luckily, we have a really good doctor, and she's cool. And we had a little problem last month with my diabetic stuff, and she got it straightened out, and that's better. But that's kind of a screw job too. I mean, the thing is that I'm paid for insurance each month, and my insulin used to be free for like, I don't know, like 9 months out of the year. I didn't have to pay anything, and then I had to pay for the last 3 months. Well, now they've changed the laws and stuff. Well, now the insurance company, they the thing is they can only charge you $35 a month for your insulin, and so the insurance companies step back from it. So now I pay $35 a month, so I'm up to like four something a year. So it's a lot higher than I was paying before. So just a joke. Hey Terry, tough hearing about Wayne today. I saw that he broke his engine. What's wrong with it? He's broke down in Texas. I don't even know where I was going to call him this afternoon. I got busy doing other things. So actually had a water leak underneath the faucet. It was just a drip. I mean, it wasn't something like where it was a lot of water, but it accumulated over time. And hey, Jason, and all of a sudden, oh well, here we go. I've been trying to dry it out and everything else, and get it where it doesn't, get moldy and stuff. Hi, Lynn, Jason, and ended up that his air filter was clogged up and making it run way too rich. So we had to replace plugs and some sensors. Were you with him or something, or did he do it? Is he coming your way, Terry? He, not we. Oh, okay. Is he going up to Kentucky, or where's he going? 16 likes now. Wow, that's good. Starting to rain again. Man, I'll tell you what, man. I took Darla over to Little Rock today, and I mean, it poured all the way there, and about halfway back, it was crazy. Hi guys, my computer has been working for has not been working for a while. I could see you, but I could not communicate. Well, I can see her working now. That's a good thing. These computers something's up because Hewlett Packard keeps commenting, contacting me saying they want me to pay money uh, so that my computer keeps working. And they're going, well, you may not be able to operate your computer here pretty soon. I think it's a big scam. They shut it off. I don't know. I'm going to do something different. Hi, and welcome to everyone here. Lots of new names, so fun. Yeah, most of these people I know. I know all the people on here tonight. Hi, and welcome to everyone else. He doesn't know right now if he's going to come here or go back to Florida. Well, you ought to come see me. You ought to come visit me. I'm home alone. I think he's going to try to pick up some jobs there in Texas. So, okay, well, that's good. Leslie says he sees how you are. You didn't say hi to him. Where is Wesley? Oh, well, I don't see you on here. You're supposed to have your own thing. Hi, Wesley. Warm and sunny up there in Wisconsin. No, it's never warm and sunny in Wisconsin. Always tornadoes. And Phil Presnell, good evening. How you doing, Phil? But you know what's weird is we've had like crazy weather all around us for like 2 weeks. But I mean, even the rainstorms would like come up and they would just like go right around us. And and then last night, man, it came well this early this morning. It started. It rained all day. And another thing, we've been leaving the windows open at night because it's warm. I don't know, about 2 o'clock in the morning here. Hey, hey, help me! Like a just a loud voice, and I thought it was coming from the street out here. And I got up and I looked. I didn't see anybody, and I didn't hear like anybody running or anything like that. No cars or nothing. Nobody out there. I looked for a dead body this morning. I didn't see anyone out there, so I don't know what that was. Okay, it's dumping right now. It says I see Cage is supervisor. No, Cage, he's he had to be drug over. You see how he's in his head in the chair. Otherwise, he'd be over there hiding. Hi, Rosebud. Miss C. Darla. Yeah, she's visiting grandchildren. He's in the kitchen fixing me something to eat and just listening. We managed to dodge all the severe weather on our way up here. Yeah, well, you're lucky. Um, it's been pretty crazy. I know there's been a lot of tornadoes in Nebraska, in Kansas, in Texas. I haven't heard of any in Arkansas, but you know, seasons early could still happen anytime. But hopefully, we don't get any tornado action. We haven't even really had hail here, so that's a good thing too. Cage is out. Yeah, where'd you go? Hey, KD. Oh, come here. Get up here. Get up here. Come on. Get your chair. Come here. Get up here. Be a good boy. Come on. Up. There he is. He's back. He was just stretching his legs. Oh, you stretching your legs? Darla's probably watching. She should say hi. He was acting weird on the way home. He's been acting weird in the car lately and the truck. He'll ride for a while and he's fine. Then all of a sudden he starts getting like nervous and panting and everything else. But I don't know what that's all about. I don't know. I don't see her on there yet. You'll see her. She's DDK. That's what she goes by on here. Hope you're all well. I wanted to ask, are there any gate guarding jobs in the Seattle area or Washington State in general? Well, pretty much it has to be the idea behind the gate guarding is you're gate guarding for oil companies, you're guarding ranches. So I don't know how much oil there is up in that area. Maybe in eastern Washington there would be some oil, but I don't. The only out of like Texas, New Mexico, and Oklahoma, and Louisiana gate I know of is the one in Colorado, and there's just one, and it's a miserable sucker, boy. I'll tell you what, man. When you go there, you better be prepared for the worst because pretty much that's what you get. There's the freezing season, the frozen season, and the fly season. The three F's, man. It's an effing place, man. We've done it twice. 15 below zero. That's tough to take. If you survive it, you've kind of won. How about fireworks? Anyone want to do fireworks? You still have three places. Let's see. Well, you're welcome anytime. Texas, or I know they're hiring in Texas right now, but they're always hiring this time of year for Texas because the temperatures are rising. So you got to be prepared for that. It gets pretty hot in Texas this time of year. We worked at one time. It was like I don't know, it was like 110 degrees for over a week every day. Man, and Darla does the days most of the time, but she seems to be able to handle the heat a lot better. But we were down by Laredo, so it wasn't quite as humid. There's parts when you get to West Texas, it's really really dry, but it's even hotter. When you're up in like the eastern part of Texas, it's a lot more humid and it gets pretty hot there. So Wes is Wes still gone? Wes isn't talkative tonight because Darla's not here. It stopped raining again now. With all the rain, I decided to reseason the cast iron skillets. Oh yeah, how'd my air? Well, we had at that time we had two 15,000 BTUs, and they work real good. One of the secrets is I have a really good fan, and I put it on the dashboard, and I blow the air, and the air just kind of circulates around, and I have duct cooling, so it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's hot when you go outside, but when you come back in, then it seems really cold in here. Hi, Mount Laurel. Let's see. We're desert dwellers. Humidity always makes me feel so sick. We're Someone needs to write a comment because they put a little heart thing in the corner, and what it is it blocks what you're trying to say. We're more used to the dry heat. Yeah, well, we did. You grew up. You were born and raised in the desert. You lived there until you moved away. So, um, mom and I grew up in LA area, and there was more humid there, but it wasn't quite as hot. It could. It was actually we had it where it was like when we were kids. I remember it was like 118 degrees for like 7 days straight, and it was in the 90s at night. And I slept outside in the patio, and I started doing that all summer long every year. So I made like a blanket or tent, had a rollaway bed, and put my sleeping bag and my dogs. I had two of these little guys when I was a kid, and uh, and they slept with me out there. They loved it. Those were fun days, at least for that part of it. But that's that's my excitement right now. I don't know that was kind of going down the road with the buying of the property. You know, a lot of the nomaders are talking about buying property, and you got to be real careful where you buy property. I know everyone's running to Arizona to buy property, and where you could buy property at a decent price is like at 6,000 foot level, and it's you know it's cool in the summertime, but it's freezing in the wintertime. And you don't have water, and you don't have sewer, and you don't. A lot of the places don't even have electricity. And I mean, if you want to go off grid, you can go off grid, but the in the wintertime the solar doesn't work that great down there in Arizona and stuff. So you got to be really wise where you go. I mean, here, of course, I don't have solar. Um, I've discussed that before. I am not into solar. I have a 7.5 kW diesel generator, and by the time I buy enough fuel to to make it where it's worth to buy the solar system, I'll never spend that much money on diesel. And I've ran that diesel generator 24 hours a day for days and days and days, and it just doesn't use that much fuel. So we are going to Norwalk tomorrow to pick up some autos. Haven't been there in years. We are heading to Washington for a delivery busy week ahead. Yep, Norwalk, in Norwalk, California. I imagine I lived in Norwalk. That's where I bought my first house when I was 19 years old in Norwalk. And I lived right on the borderline of Norwalk and Downey. My garage was almost in Downey, and that's where I grew up, was Downey, California. So it was pretty. My childhood was, as far as in California, was great. Back in those days, California was a great place to live, and down in the LA basin down there was pretty cool. I mean, there was some rough areas down there, but for the most part, it was the beach and cars and motorcycles and cruising the boulevards and all kinds of stuff. And then, I mean, it was like everything else, man. The cops were all over the cruisers, cruising up and down the boulevards. Oh man, I had the cops used to chase me every once in a while. They just weren't as they didn't have as fast of cars, and they weren't that good of drivers. So I got away most of the time. But a couple of times I didn't. Boy, that they taught me some lessons. I would never try to outrun a cop again unless it was a life and death situation. So that's the only way I would do it. Because I'll tell you what, they make you wish you're dead when they catch you. You see this stuff on TV, and they don't put that stuff on TV, the bad stuff on TV. They put the stuff on TV that makes them look like they're not that bad at guys. But they can be pretty mean when they want to be. I always call the cops. Of course, this is from my experience. That they're the biggest gang, And I mean, I don't have any. I know some really cool cops, and I knew the actual sheriff of San Bernardino, California, and I met him and got to be friends with him because he harassed me all the time. And I just decided I was just going to become his friend, and I did. And I went to his sergeant's party. Darla and I went to that. And just got to be really good buddies. And I used to, when I had my electronics company, I sold all the cops stereo equipment and donated stuff for different functions and for giveaways and stuff. And so they kind of got off my case as far as riding motorcycles after that. They kind of left me alone. I got to be known with them, and they were cool then. But I mean, you gotta you kind of got to play the game with them to get the right kind of treatment. So you get on their bad side, you'll know immediately. Yes, I grew up in Fullerton. Oh yeah, was great in the '60s and '70s. Not so much now. Yeah, Fullerton. That's down by Torrance, isn't it? I think Fullerton. Isn't that where the Beach Boys grew up? Right in that area. Man, it's raining hard right now. Woo! Did you hear that? Pounding. Boy, that air feels nice though. Yeah. Yeah, well, it used to go to, I don't know if you were in Anaheim, Brookhurst and Orangethorpe on Sunday nights at midnight. There was a shopping center there, and that's where the Orange County Street Racers, that's where we met on Sunday nights at midnight. That was fun. I got chased by the cops a few times doing that too. Not, I didn't race there. I would just go there and watch and meet people and stuff like that. Those guys when they were racing and they got caught on Sunday nights, they went to jail. They spent some serious time over that. So I was not into getting arrested and going to jail. And a red, what Mach 1? Oh, Mach 1. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I worked for Ford back in the well, I started at Ford in like 73 and I worked until the end of 78. I worked at a Ford dealership in Downey. That was a good time. That was a pretty good job, especially for a young kid. The thing is, I bought my house and I had some expenses and I was doing the job that an older man had left. And I mean, I was getting $500 a month less than he was, and I was doing more than he did. And I thought I should at least get paid what he was getting paid. They just wouldn't budge, so I quit, went to another place and started out as a mechanic, making like $700 a month more than I was making there. So, sometimes you got to do that. I used to tell my son, I go, you get in, you get to a place and you're working and you're handling things and you can't get an increase in your money. Of course, things are a lot different back then. But, sometimes the best thing to do is just move somewhere else, go somewhere else, and you'll normally start out making more money. So, and that's how I just kept doing, flipping and flipping. And pretty soon, man, I was working at an Oldsmobile dealer and I was making really good money, a lot of money. So I grew up in Whittier in the 70s, cruising Whittier Boulevard, good times. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I used to, Scotty's, man. We used to hang out there at Scotty's, and then there was Stick City. That was a cool place, but they got really got real cranky about people cruising up and down the boulevard there, man, and they had it all blocked off. And but now there, if you go on YouTube and you type in Whittier Boulevard, they let the lowriders, man, they block the streets off and they jump the cars in the middle of the street, do this stuff, and there's you don't even see the cops go down there. But back in the day, man, with us, I mean, everybody was just, of course, there always somebody would do something crazy, and next thing you know, the cops were going crazy with you. First dealership I worked for was Paris Valley Motors. Worked for Ben Floyd. That was a lifetime ago. Yeah, I never heard of that place, but yeah, I worked at that Downey Ford. Man, that place had been there forever, and the owner um, turned the place over to his son, and his son just sold it out. Man, I was gone then. I'd been gone for a while. He just sold it, sold the dealership or whatever. He closed everything down, sold everything off, sold off the property, and left. So I guess he wasn't too enthused about owning a car dealership. It was in Riverside County. Okay. I used to go to Riverside County to go horseback riding. That's what we used to do in Riverside County. I'll tell you what was a cool road, and I'm sure you know about this one, Trey, is the one that comes from Idlewild and it comes down to Palm Springs. We used to race that thing on. We used to go there on Sunday mornings real early, like at 4 or 5 in the morning. And when the sun came up, we would just scream down that back road. It looked like a slot car track. It was awesome. And you could really get flying. But if you lost it, you were in trouble. There was a lot of guardrails back then. That old race car driving, that was fun. My guys got to help me. I didn't try to load any information tonight. I spent the whole day driving. Got up early, been driving all day. I remember Riverside Raceway. You remember that? It was Ford Whittier. Uh, I can't place it. Do you remember what was it? Whittier Harley Davidson. What was it? Greenleaf on Greenleaf there. The guy who mentored me on being able to do the motorcycle work. His family owned that place, and then man, that guy was an amazing. He was there since he was a little kid. He was working on bikes. That guy was the most amazing motorcycle mechanic ever. Yeah, he was Rusty Birch was his name. And I've been trying to find Rusty, and I haven't been able to find him. Yes, I lived in Idlewild for 3 years. Riverside Raceway was the best, right by March Air Force Base. Yeah, what's weird about it is there was that back S turns. I was there for a IROC race, and Richard Petty was in it, and that was just a long straightaway for him. You just see him; he'd be on the pavement, and you see a poof of dirt, and then he'd be back on the track, and then a poof of dirt, and then he came up, and they had to make that real sharp turn, and he would just about lose it on. We were sitting right by that turn. The one time we went there, and man, he just about lost it right there. It was funny. Those are good old days too. All right, Bill. Do you feel loved now? Yeah, I do. There you go. Yeah, we only have a couple more weeks, and we'll be up in your territory. About 2 weeks and maybe a day. Yeah, back to good old Kentucky. I am alone too. You are. How come you're alone, Doug? Join the live. Greetings from Oklahoma. Well, you're not too far. Whereabouts in Oklahoma are you? I'm 6 miles from Oklahoma. Old Highway 4 over here. Robert Austin. Well, welcome, Robert. I haven't seen you on here before. Maybe if you watched this before, or first time coming on, or what? Choctaw. Okay, I know where that is. Is that near Hochi Town? Hoochie Town? It's over that, or no? That you're Choctaw. Is that that's near Poto, isn't it? Where is it? Where is it? Is it by Hochi Town or Poto? Trading the Tacoma in ASAP. Going to miss it. It has been a great little truck. Well, why do you get rid of that then? I know Bill, remember, we already told Darla that we might kidnap her for an hour or two to teach us how to use Spooky 2. Well, okay. Oh, suburbs of Oklahoma City. Okay. Well, you're a little bit further than you're probably about 2.5 hours from me here. I'm near Mena in Arkansas. Helen is at the airport trying to get home from Santa Barbara. How'd she get to Santa Barbara? Weren't you guys at the beach? Would she get mad at you and take a walk and you drove home? A couple of miles from 90. Biffrod. Bifford. I'm sorry. No, it's Biffrod. A couple of miles from 90. Her mom is sick. Oh, okay. But why was Helen in Santa Barbara? Her mom's not in Santa Barbara, is she? Highway 4 near Piedmont, Oklahoma. Well, Highway 4 is like from where I'm at. You would take Highway 4 over to the 259 and go down to Broken Bow and Ho Chi Town and all that. We go down there because there's a Chicken Express. Is there a better reason? Lone hitchhiker Ken. Hey, how you doing? Howdy, howdy, Bill. Hope all is good. Dang, is Darla okay? She doesn't look the same tonight. Yeah, she's not here tonight. She's with the grandkids. Oh, you're still at the beach. Okay, I get you. Why didn't you just let her take the car? Oh, good. I officially have consent now. You guys heard that right. No one will verify that, man. They wouldn't take your side over me. Just me and the boys. No, that's the nearest airport to Rincon. Yeah, you ride your bicycle there. I have a transport business and I service Poto, Mena, and Idabel. I know that area well. Yeah, yeah. And Trey, he has a transport business too. He transports cars and stuff. His son has like a deal where they buy a bunch of cars and everything. He's on it right behind below you there. You're getting a 2019 Lexus GX 460. We need room for the grandkids. It will be. It will little pull our little trailer, the dog, and 3 grandkids. There you go. Why didn't you just get a big Suburban? Then you could take everybody. We could ride with you. Boy faces 10 new whistleblowers after tragic deaths of 2 colleagues. Yeah, well, those guys, you better find a good hiding spot. There's Starla. DDK, that's Starla. Say hi. You see, I made it home, and Cage is taking your spot. You don't seem too happy about it, though. So what do you transport, Robert? See, now everyone's going to talk to Darla. I'm done. I'll just sit here and drink Chicken Express water. It's been dumping here, Dar, about I don't know, about every 10 or 15 minutes. It just pours and then it stops, and then it'll pour again. And of course, the bedroom windows are open, but I don't think anything's coming in. I got this window open and nothing's coming in, so it should be all right. Anything that will fit on a 40-foot flatbed. Oh, okay. I mean, do you have a semi, or is that what you're driving? You got a semi? You have the where the front unhooks and all that stuff, or what? Thanks, Trey. Oh, okay. So you go down to Texas, huh? Or you do it in Oklahoma, maybe too. They got oil fields up there, not as much as Texas, but they got some good places in Oklahoma. Yeah, my buddy, good friend of mine, really good friend of mine, had a W900, I think it was, the trickiest truck you've ever seen in your life, man. This thing had a huge sleeper on this thing. I mean, huge. And the thing was like a motorhome pulling a 53, what is it, 52 or 53-foot trailer, man. I don't know how he drove that thing. It was so long. But he sold it. He finally sold it. I think he got out of it at the right time because he's still driving. He's just driving for the company was working for, bought his truck. They bought it off of him, and because he just had it parked, he wasn't driving it because he got tired of hassling trying to get it in places. So he was just driving a regular truck, and the owner of the company bought the thing. Yeah, well, he had a bathroom and a shower and kitchen, and he had a 7.5 kW diesel generator, and I mean he had the whole thing. It was an amazing. You could go on and type in on YouTube Davies Motor. It's Davies Motors W900 Kenworth, and it's like he painted the color of my wife. We had one of the in 2005. We bought one of the first Chrysler 300s, and he loved that green color they had, and that's the color he painted his truck. And everything was stainless steel on the outside. It's amazing. There's a whole film on it. There's a thing. He's got over I think 2 or 3 million views on that video. It's crazy. Food's almost ready. Philly cheesesteak, Lamburger helper. Lamburger helper. Those guys have electric on wheel. Yep. Doug, sorry to hear about Helen's mom. I lived on State College in Anaheim for a while. She has a galloping. Oh, that's an interesting way to put it. I think I've seen him and his wife showing it on YouTube. It's a beautiful rig. Well, he doesn't. It's not him showing it. It was the Davies. They're the guys that made the sleeper. He had the chassis stretched, and he had a big cat motor, but it was a 1993, and he took all the electronics off of it, and he put stainless steel pistons and special turbos and all. It was putting out like 800 horsepower, and then he put like I think a 16-speed transmission and Peterbilt rear ends. And I mean, this truck. I mean, there wasn't the guy. We have been friends since we were 16 years old, and we were actually in a Mustang car club together. We used to do the cruise in the boulevard and all that stuff. And I mean, the guy was so meticulous on everything he did. It took him forever to do everything he did, but he was very meticulous. And when he wanted to do that sleeper, he wanted me to do the sleeper for him. And I told him, I go, man, Ernie, I wouldn't know, I wouldn't know how to do it. I just wouldn't know how to do it. And he had bought like three sleepers, thinking that he could like piece them together. And he ended up, they used two of them, and it still looked like in the front. It had where the windows were in the front overhead, and then they did the sides somehow, and they just extended the thing out, put the thing in the back. The only bad thing about it is he didn't have like a back door or a side door to get out. He had to go out through the driver or the passenger seat. And he goes, I wish I had done that, but he wanted everything inside a certain way, and he couldn't put a door in there after he designed it. So, let's see. But if you look it up, like I say, Davies Motors, Trey, I lived at Orange and Beach Boulevard. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time on Beach Boulevard too. Spent a lot of time at Huntington Pier at night surfing. Try that sometime. That's pretty scary. First time I did it, I thought it was crazy. And then after that, I did get eaten. So I figured, well, keep going. But you're out there and the lights are up above you on the pier, and the top of the water is all like lit, but it's dark. I mean, you can't see anything below the top of the water, and you're sitting out there on your board. It's a pretty freaky feeling. But I worked. I was working, so I get off work and I go down surf for about an hour and then head home. And that was back before it cost you like $30 to park your car for an hour or two. Any other surfers out there or ex surfers? Any other street racers? I know we got at least a couple of people who used to cruise the boulevard, Whittier Boulevard here. And there was Whittier Boulevard. There was two different ones. There was kind of they called them the surfer group or whatever that cruised Whittier Boulevard and Whittier, and then there was like East LA Whittier Boulevard, and that was where the lowriders went. And we used to go down there once in a while. They were pretty cool. I mean, I knew some guys that cruised that had lowriders and had fun with it. Oh, someone retracted something. Went to Schweitzer and Dale, brother, went to Magnolia. Huh. I don't know where Schweitzer is. Oh, you're probably talking to Trey again. Why are you alone tonight? I'm not. I have Cage here. Darla's with my daughter, my oldest daughter. She's gonna. She's she's taken off for a week or so. Stopping by Wimpy's for a burrito in Huntington Beach. Where was it? Let's see, at Huntington Beach. Of course, we used to go. I used to stay there in Sunset Beach, and there was a Jack in the Box there, and uh, and then there was also a Jack in the Box. Of course, Jack in the Box was better back then. Cruising on the weekends. There you go. You could cruise every night back in the day. What size of motorhome do I have? Ours is a 37-foot Holiday Rambler Imperial diesel, diesel pusher. It's an old one. It's a 1995. It's actually a Harley Davidson owned Holiday Rambler. With this was actually a special edition. That's the very first year of anyone other than Newmar having a slide out. Newmar had the first slide outs in '94, and then Holiday Rambler got them in '95. And actually, when this motorhome, not this particular one, but when these first came out in 1995, we were at Pomona Valley uh, RV show, and we went through the different models of this. And I told Darla, I said, someday when we get rich, we'll buy. I mean, these were over $250,000, and I said, we're going to get one of these things. And then when we decided to go full time RVing, I was looking for them, but they wanted so much for them, and I found this one. It was in Vegas, and had like 30,000 miles, and the generator had like 300 hours on it. I mean, it was like, it was really you know amazing. And when I first saw it, the lady wanted 70 grand, but I eventually, into the process of everything, I got it for 25 grand. So I think I did pretty good on it. Nah, Bill, our Darla was just wearing that new makeup brand Canine. Yeah. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. That's see, they're making fun of you and making fun of mom. Better be careful, Cage, you get you. Testing. I see you. You having problems, Tim? You must remember Knott's Berry Farm. When it was a farm in Orange Groves. I remember feeding the seals there and eating chicken fried steaks in the restaurant. Yeah, that was a big thing about Knott's Berry Farm. They were really famous for their uh, their chicken dinners, and they actually made pies. And remember Trey, they had the little putt putt cars or whatever out by the road where you could. When I was a little kid, that's how I learned how to drive, was driving those cars out along the road. It was fun. Motor X Racing, 70s and 80s. Yep. Never had the chicken fried steak though. Any trouble with slide out gears? Is something going wrong there, Bifrod? I actually had the only thing I ever had go wrong with the slide out was is when we painted it. We had to take the the awnings off on both sides, and when we put it back in, we got it overloaded, the springs. And the first time we put it out, when we went to bring it back in, it I didn't notice, but it was only one side was retracting, and it took the metal wrap and it jammed the whole slide out, jammed it up, and I had to manually push it out. And what ended up happening? There's a deal like there's an axle and then there's a drum, and there's a thing that as you tighten it, it locks down on the axle and expands the other end in the drum, and it broke the little fingers that made it do that. So what I ended up doing is I drew a deal and took it over to a friend of mine who had a machine shop, and I said, "Can you make this for me?" And he made it, and what it did is it clamped down on the axle, and then it went over the drum that the other piece expanded. It went over the outside, and then I drilled through everything, and I put a real weak bolt in there, so if it ever bound up, it would shear the bolt. And and I did that. It was right after I got it, and that was like 14 years ago. It's still working. So everything in here is solid wood. Can you tell that? Solid oak. Let's see. So that's been the only problem really with the slide out. And it's first generation. It's got these big, they're like big wheels, like big, they're flat. They're like flat, and they got spikes sticking out of them. And then there's big rails underneath the slide out, and they got holes in them. And as that thing turns, it just goes in the holes and just pulls it, pushes it out. And Darla and I, we always push on it to help it out. We always pull to help it, pull it in, because it's just got a little itty bitty tiny $600 motor. It's like for a windshield wiper or something, but it doesn't have a lot of power, and so we just kind of help it come in. It's 13 feet 6 inches or something long, so and it's 30 inches deep, so it's pretty big slide out, pretty heavy. You have an RV with a slide out? The bad slide outs have that Schwinn mechanism. They call it Schwinn or something like that. They make that humming sound when they first go in and out. They strip out stuff, and you can really get in trouble with those. When we worked at Brett's RV and Marine in Montana, those things they would come in. They brand new ones. People take them out for the first time. If you don't have everything just right, if it's in a bind in any way, man, it'll just screw them up. And people don't know. Well, this is a first generation slide out, and I'll tell you, I think part of the reason why they discontinued using this is because it was pretty heavy duty. If I could have got that piece, I mean, I looked and looked and looked, and I mean, the motorhome was like 15 years old when I bought it, and it'll be 30 years old here pretty quick. But they were pretty good. I mean, they usually didn't have much of a problem. Well, it's the mechanism. I think it's called Schwinn or something like that. Yeah, but if you look at it, there'll be an aluminum plate on the side of the slide outs, and they got like a little track where it's kind of like this, and the motor rides it, just pulls it in and out by that little track. And those things, they strip out, man. They strip out bad. And looking for an RV, man, I saw. Oh man, there's one right now. I thought it was a pretty darn good price. I didn't really look at it that close, but let me look. Do, 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 do. It's a '96 Gulfstream. And the guy wants 10 grand for it. And it's a Spartan chassis, which is the kind. See if you can see it. There's a picture of it. It's a Cummins 8.3. Has a single slide. It's a pretty good looking rig, man. For $10,000. Heck yeah. Looks like it needs maybe a little bit of interior stuff, but for the money, it wouldn't be a bad deal. If you get them, if you get them where they need just a little bit of stuff, man, that makes it easy. Schwintek slides, yeah, there you go, Terry. My brother's got a couple of those on his fifth wheel. He's got like one slide out that's hydraulic, and then the rest of the Schwinteks. I wore him out. I don't. I don't wear him out. Charlie, I swear, I will spell the poor dog's name right one of these days. It's Caije. Yep. Well, it's Freech. It's Freech. Of course, I've told you guys how he got his name a bunch of times, so no sense of repeating myself. Well, been on here an hour, so I made it. And I did it all by myself. Well, with the help of Cage. He slept through it though. You gonna say anything? You gonna show your face? Here, look it up here. See? See? Show everybody your cute little face. Oh well. Yeah, I did it. I did. Yay. All right, you guys. Well, you guys have a good week. I might pop on here because I'm going to be home alone, so I may do another live during the week and surprise you guys. So it's starting to rain again. Um, so keep an eye out for me. And does anybody know what happened to Ron Daryl? I haven't seen him. Probably need to call him, see what's going on. Cage is such a great dog. Cage is over you and us. Have a great Sunday. Will do. All right, guys. Take it easy. We'll see you again. We'll see you for sure next Sunday, okay? Talk to you later.